This is Sean Kinney with RCR Wireless News. I'm here at the Texas Wireless Summit inside the Blanton Museum on the University of Texas campus. And over the next few minutes, we're going to be talking to some of the future wireless engineering leaders who are presenting here at the summit.
Our 60-second challenge starts now.
My name is John Park, and I'm in the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department, and particularly in the WCG, which is Wireless Communication Network Group. So my work is the analytical work for studying the performance indicator in the some dynamic multi-user joint transmission, which is the kinds of some multi-step conversion techniques. So my main job is to drive some closed form expression for the performance indicator, which is behavior as some performance indicator, which provides some insight of which system parameters is important for this multi-step cooperation scenario. And yeah, this main theorem is my main job in this posture, and I validate my theorem compared to some Monte Carlo simulation here.
My name is Xin Qing. I'm working with Professor Andrews, and here's my poster. I'm looking at the interplay between massive MIMO and D2D networking. If you know these two terms, you know they are two key features of next generation cellular networks. The problem is, if we put these two technologies in the same cellular networks, there may be mutual interference between these two kind of systems. Then what should we do? Can these two systems coexist harmoniously? So in this work, I look at D2D networking in massive MIMO. The good thing about massive MIMO is if we have a lot of antennas at the base station, then the D2D to cellular interference can be made arbitrarily small by using a lot of antennas. So that's the beauty of massive MIMO. What about D2D? Because massive MIMO, there are many cellular users active in each resource block, there may be more interference from cellular to D2D. So here in this plot, I show, okay, D2D performance, in fact, is very robust to cellular interference. Even we have a lot of cellular users in each cell, the D2D performance does not degrade very much. So overall, my research shows D2D can be made very simple in massive MIMO. Even we have two very different technologies, they can coexist in next generation cellular networks very easily. Okay, so why not we go for D2D in massive MIMO? Thank you.
Challenge.
Hello, I am Mandar Kulkarni. I am a graduate student at UT Austin and working with Professor Jeff Andrews. In this work, we are finding the coverage and rate trends in millimeter wave networks. Millimeter wave means high frequencies, which brings different propagation characteristics, and blockages are very important here. So what we do is we use actual building locations in Manhattan and Chicago downtown region in order to evaluate the coverage and rate trends. That gives us realistic blockage parameters. And what we find is that a high bandwidth network at 73 gigahertz can indeed be designed to be noise limited, unlike conventional networks, and that is the SINR and SNR coverage are very close to each other. And because of this, if you densify the network, as in if you increase the number of base stations per kilometer square, you get gain in the SINR and thus the rate as well, and you can get huge gains with increasing base station density. And however, increasing bandwidth helps to increase the peak rates, but not the cellage rates as much because they are power limited. What we do is, since we have the actual building locations, we use these locations to find the coverage and then use existing blockage models and compare them as to how good a estimate the existing models give as compared to the actual building locations. And what we see is different blockage models indeed give significantly different estimates, which motivates need for a new model. And finally, we propose a new model which fits these curves pretty well. And yeah, so basically this is the summary of our project.
Hi, my name is Abhishek and I'm at UT. So our project was to extend traditionally used protocols which have been there for decades to adapt to like newer paradigms. I think it's very common that even now, even if you have a watch and a shoe, they're all going to transmit, and like things that are discovered decades ago to scheduled transmissions won't work any longer. So we looked at the solution from using a very simple observation. It's known for a long time. Information theory is a parallel subject. It's known for a long time about their results as to how to mitigate interference. So this project is like a simple attempt at using their results into networking literature and see if you can pack more. And what we observed that is a very surprising observation that by modifying it a very little bit using using results known in two different communities for decades together and merging them together, we are able to just increase the gain by 20%. So just like an observation of how you can merge results known previously to increase gain that are needed for this generation.
And there you have it, the future leaders of our telecom industry giving us their ideas in about 5 minutes. Thanks for checking out RCR Wireless TV.
For the more important control signaling things, so those are handled by the LTE